Hi there. A very warm welcome to Universal Group of Institutions. I'm Nitika Dugal, Science and Tech faculty for UPSC, and today I have come up with a very important session based on 10 tips for all the UPSC aspirants who are aspirants or who are planning to be aspirants in future. These tips will change your life. These tips will help you get to your target with ease, simplicity, and with consistency. Let's see the first tip that you must know if you're preparing for UPSC or if you're planning to prepare it in future. You must know how the exam structure looks like because see, when we talk about the prelims, the requirements of prelims is very different. When we talk about mains, yes, mains have a different requirement of your ability to write a subjective paper, and that too in the limited period of time. Then, of course, there is an interview. An interview requires completely different vocal communication skills, the all-round development, the all-round personality. Everything is taken care of in your interview. So you need to have objectivity, subjectivity, and all-round development. And that's why we say UPSC is one of the most esteemed papers of our country. Now, once you know the structure, how the pattern looks like, how many papers are there, how many optional papers are there, and if you want me to make a detailed video on just the structure, drop me the comments and I will come up with a detailed structure of all the 3 papers that are a part of UPSC. Then, once you're well acquainted with the structure, what next should you do? Well, next thing is you must build a strong foundation with NCERTs. Now, why is NCERT so important? Why can't you directly start with, let's say, Lakshmikant or any of the most important books of UPSC, huh? See, when you were in your school, you have been conditioned to study NCERT. I'm sure in one stage or the other, you have been a part of NCERT books, you have been studying NCERT books, so this will come very naturally to you. And yes, UPSC holds its roots in NCERT. So NCERT is a must. Okay? And you can pick up any NCERT depending on your choice to begin with, to get a flow. We do not expect the Rome was not built in a day. Your understanding will not be building in a day. No matter how negative this may sound, but this is a fact. And being a UPSC aspirant, knowledge of the facts, knowledge of the subjectivity, knowledge of the skills required to bridge the gap between the subjectivity and objectivity is very crucial, very crucial. Okay? So, please do start with NCERT. Now, newspaper is a third practice, which is a life practice that you would have to hold, that you would have to pick. Now, reading newspaper can be tricky. Initially, if you're not habitual of reading newspapers, initially you may find it very intimidating. You may find it very difficult to read. You may not understand the context. But the beauty of newspapers is if you pick up any one article, you would see that article maybe after 2 days is reoccurring, is coming again. So you will always be able to connect the dots, which will help in the reinforcement of the concept. So newspaper reading is a must. Article reading, even if initially you're not understanding, read. And I would advise you to read it aloud. Okay? So newspaper, come on. If you're a UPSC aspirant, forget about, you cannot ace your UPSC exam without getting a hang of how the newspaper reading looks like, how to extract data on your own. Yes, there are videos which will do the newspaper analysis, the Hindu newspaper analysis. YouTube is filled with such videos, but you should have your own ability to decode a particular article into your own words. That actually determines how much knowledge, how much ability, the art of decoding is what you will be able to master only once you're reading the newspaper on your own. All right? Okay, then make a study plan. See, be it any of the competitive examination, without a study plan, it is like body without soul. So study plan, it can be if you're a nocturnal being, you like to wake up at nights, make a study plan accordingly. If you want to rise up early and plan, make a plan accordingly. If you're a working employee and study, make a plan accordingly. If you're a student, you have to spend full time. If you're taking a drop year and studying, you have to actually give all that you can. So your study plan is like no shoe fits all. You have your own shoe size. You have your own individual study plan that you have to cater to, right? So now the tip number 5 is you plan at the first only. See, you get a hang once you're starting. If you've already tasted all the subjects, you would be knowing which optional works best for me. But if you're in a nascent stage, the starting stage, and you're confused which optional subject to choose, please spend time with NCERTT and keep your options ready. Eliminate the options only after you have seen the previous year papers, right? And just looking at the previous year paper, you would not be able to decide whether this subject is for me or not. So how will you be able to decide? Only once you've started writing the answers, you've attended some lectures. Maybe you can attend the lecture on the YouTube and realize whether I'm resonating with this optional subject or not. So choose your subject wisely. All right, this will make a huge difference, trust me. Even few marks makes a huge difference. So this is optional exam, a complete examination we are talking about. Now, once you've chosen your optional subject, you have to practice live answer writing. What do I mean by live answer writing? See, if I give you a question and I ask you to write about it, right? Just if I ask you about the nuclear power plant project in India, the 3-stage power plant project in India, you might take half an hour and give me the best piece of article, best piece of answer possible. But hey, you do not have half an hour in examination. You have to work on your structure, your framing, the facts, the important key points, and the articulation in 6 minutes, 6 to 7 minutes. Per question, you will be getting 6 to 7 minutes to write. So you have to be habitual of writing an answer in that time period. So when I say answer writing, it means hashtag the beauty of writing with speed. So it has to be with the speed that you should be able to write the best possible answer. Okay? Then, of course, you have to revise regularly. Revision is the key. The active recall is the key. Without active recall, you will not be able to contain the information. So, whatever you're studying, revision is a must, needless to say. All right? Then, of course, without mock test, you will not be knowing. Never wait for my entire syllabus will be over and then I will start giving the mock test. This is a hoax. This is a myth. You will never get confident, okay, now I will be giving mock test because now my syllabus is over. Mind you, mock tests are your mirror. They will show you a mirror and will let you know how your prep is going on. So attempt the mock test. Of course, now what I have seen, what all the faculties dealing with such competitive examinations have seen is people get absolutely disdained, distressed. So there is no point of clearing an examination if it is taking toll here. There's no point whatsoever of clearing any examination if it is taking a mental toll, physical toll. You're gaining a lot of weight because you're eating without the necessary consciousness, without the necessary, you need to know what you're doing in your actions and your thoughts. You become what you consume. So It is not just valid for the food, but the content that you're watching on internet, the content you're watching on television, the content that you're reading in the books. So you will become that. So it is important that you become a vessel that can hold things with proper dignity, with proper requirement of the job, because the job requirement is, yes, it's going to be a stressful job, so you should know how to cope up with the stress that comes your way. So my advice is, do not just work for the outcome that I will become an IAS officer, I will become an IPS officer, I will be a part of the Indian Foreign Services. No, do not just think of that. I will be an IAS officer with best of my ability and with best of my mindset. Just do not focus on being, just after the profession, but also the need of the profession. All right? And the 10th tip, last but not the least, you have to stay motivated and consistent, and motivation will not come from outside. Today you're watching this video, might be that it motivates you a lot, but it is only the internal motivation that will take you a long way. All right? So stay motivated. Ask yourself the why. Why you want to become IAS officer, why you want to become an IPS officer, why you want to become an IFS officer, why you want to become an IRS officer. Whatever your target, your agenda, your ambition is, ask why. And if your why is clear, the how will ultimately be clear. You will ultimately be able to do it from your heart, from your soul, from your mind, from your entire body. So be consistent. If you're deciding to start now, give it a date, give it a time, and then there is no going back. Make sure you give whatever you can. So even if you're attempting, do not think that, okay, I have another attempt. Think that this is going to be my last attempt, and it's going to be an attempt that I will give my full energy to. 101%, nothing less. Don't say later on that I could have done it better if I would have studied more. No. Study more, do better. Whatever you're keeping for future, do it in the present. So with this, do let me know if you have anything to vent, anything to ask about UPSC examination. Please feel free to use a comment session where you can just vent your emotions and let me know how you found today's session. All the very best. More power to you. You will do it, you can do it, and you must do it. Bye-bye.